challenges of working on a fighting game is to achieve the level of gameplay that design requires from it. It has to be very precise. We have to make sure that we're hitting on certain moments so that the game can be balanced. A great example of something like this, Rash's heavy punch. Design required this to be a two-hit punch, but we were really looking to have this heavy punch be an uppercut. We started out with some block-ins of poses that design put into the game and started pacing out so that we could see exactly how many frames of animation we could put in between these key moments. Iterated back and forth a little bit, and we discovered that we could not only have an uppercut, but we could have this other strike that came around. And inevitably what happened was Rash got this awesome move where he did an uppercut, got up into the air, spun around in a circle, and then punched forward again to knock the character back. One of the more challenging characters to work on would have been Mira, our vampire character. What was interesting about her is that with a vampire, you kind of bring about a certain archetype that you'd expect, but we also wanted to make her unique and not follow the typical trends. The other complicated thing about her was that she was a twin sister to our character Maya, whose combat was kind of based around twin blades. Mira doesn't have blades, so we had to try and make her combat feel like she's a sister, but not the exact same thing as her sister.
When we first started blocking in Mira, she was originally supposed to be floating, and so I went ahead and blocked in 2 of the 3 reaping movesets, and they were all, the same thing that they are now, but she was floating. When we had to ground her, that adds a layer of complexity, because then there's the question of shifting weight and making this 2-hit move in varying angles and sell with her carrying herself also. And then throughout that, I actually really enjoyed grounding those moves, because then we got to make it more graceful and more dancer-like.
Getting to work on such a diverse cast is really energizing as an artist. So many characters like Agnos with the rocks and the steel, Rash with his huge animated personality turning into wrecking balls, and his fist growing the size of an SUV. It's exciting and challenging as an artist. One of my favorite characters to work on was Arbiter from the Halo series. As a kid, I drew him in my notebook, so it was surreal to get to work on him. I played a lot of Halo, so it was really exciting.
I will quell your thunder and douse your flame.
To determine the look of any character, we always start with the concept. We'll throw different ideas at the wall, pull references, really figure out which color palettes work well with the theme that we're going with for each individual character. And then we start loosely blocking out the model. You have characters like Agnos with these old Akkadian masks. We'll look at how these things age and rust. We'll compare that to our game models and make adjustments there. He has these vines growing all over him and rocks, so we'll look at ancient temples to see how they age over time and really transfer that into a moving 3D character. You have a character like Mira, which is inspired by these Victorian-era costumes, and she's a vampire representing death. We'll pick colors like red and black, all sorts of lace and patterns. Working on a game with such a huge built-in fan base like Killer Instinct, you feel an immense amount of pressure, but that's really what's exciting about the game.
The job of a visual effects artist is to create cool-looking visuals like electricity, fire, smoke. One of my favorite characters to work on was Shadow Jago. Working on his teleportation effects was probably one of my favorites. Having him appear and disappear, not knowing where he's going to be half the time, and just the visual of that was really cool and fun to work on. Cinder was really fun to work on because he's got his flame palm, his flame stream, just a whole bunch of different kind of fire effects that were really cool. So some of the differences between environment and character VFX, where with characters you have to worry about timing, spacing, and just the location of them. It's very important that it helps gameplay work correctly. Whereas environments, it's more just making things look really cool and also not really affecting gameplay, not blocking some of the attacks or other character-specific effects.
One of the things we wanted to address was the lighting. While the current setup allowed for quick iteration. It did not have global illumination. Our newly lit levels took advantage of light maps and bounce lighting. This brought more depth and life to every single stage, and in turn enhanced the overall lighting. In Counter Stage, before we lost all the detail that we had prior to the new lighting system. The new lighting system allowed all the work that was done to be displayed, even though it was in a dark corner. With the bounce lighting, it just allowed some of the objects to stand out even more than they used to